What's up, everybody? Welcome to my first car series of videos. My computer crashed, as some of you know, and I'm waiting for a new computer. So I wanted to talk about some stuff. I think the title of this video will be How to Sound Musically Intelligent. And just so you know, I'm sitting here with 5 chihuahuas in the car, so hopefully we can get through this without them hearing a bird or a squirrel and freaking out. So, number one on the list of how to sound musically intelligent is there is no such thing as C flat or B sharp. In music, there's things like D sharp, E flat, but there's no C flat. Instead, it goes straight from B to C. Now, I'm not going to dive into all the details of that, but when I know like people try to make a music joke and they play the C flat scale and like, oh, you should have said E flat, you'd have sounded, the joke would have landed. Now, that being said, if you're in the key of G flat major, the 4th scale degree is C flat, but that's a B. On a piano, it's just a white key, it's a B. So there's a bunch of things. Just know there's no C flat or B sharp, and there's also no F flat or E sharp. Same rules apply for that. Sometimes there is, but it's kind of like in elementary school when they teach you like there is no negative numbers or whatever they teach you, and then later in middle school they go, remember that rule? Now it doesn't apply. So there is kind of a C flat and kind of a B sharp, but not really. Those aren't real notes. So that's number one. Number two is there's only 12 notes in all of music, Western music. So every song you've ever heard most likely is just a series and a grouping of 12 notes. And all instruments, including the human voice, do those notes. Da, that can be played on any instrument. So when someone goes, do you want to play an Elton John song? I'll be like, sure, but I'm going to play it on guitar. And sometimes people are like, wait, what? How does that even? All music is translate. You can do it. So like, got my harmonica here. Let's play a better note than that. A, right? Those are both A, I think. So anyway, all instruments use 12 notes. That's the chromatic scale. If you go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, including, A sharp, no B sharp, C sharp, D sharp, no E sharp, F sharp, G sharp. Those are 12 notes. Count them up. Google it. All right, number 3. It's a guitar riff, not a guitar riff. I see this in the comments all the time on some of my guitar videos. People will be like, oh, that riff is amazing. And I remember saying it too when I first started. It's not a riff. That's like a space-time rip in space-time, a rift, or a feud between brothers, a rift. No, a guitar riff. And bonus one, there's also a guitar lick. I think the difference between lick and riff is riffs kind of repeat. Licks are like phrases, like so like a riff would be like dun 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 dun, right? It repeats. A lick would be like wah, wah, wah. Be nice if I had my guitar to show you, but licks are played high up on the guitar generally, or low down, but not repeating. And a riff is like a main riff. Riff is like a section of the song. A lick is like a section of a solo. All right, number 4. All guitar players are self-taught. All musicians really are self-taught, but guitar players especially. And what I mean by that is, yes, you might have a teacher teaching you stuff, but if you get good at an instrument, that means you are dedicated and you spent a lot of time on your own learning how to play. People can help you along the way, but like, what's the difference between someone who's self-taught, or someone who learns from an actual teacher, or someone who learns from watching Eric Clapton play? I watch the YouTube video, or I listen to the song, I slow it down, I try to learn it. What is the difference between that and someone showed them where to put their finger? Like, I could tell you, hey, put your finger on the 1st fret, or you could look up a video and watch someone put their finger on the 1st fret. There's no difference to me. Self-taught and, self-taught people learn from everyone. Unless you've never heard another guitar player before and you pick up a guitar and you make music, unless that's the case, you're not self-taught. You're learned from the music that you like. And that, I just see that a lot in the comments too. Oh, this guy was self-taught, that guy was self-taught. It's like, yeah, we're all self-taught. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't go to guitar school to learn how to play a D chord. I just looked it up. I looked up tabs. The first day I picked up a guitar, I wanted to play Under the Bridge by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I learned what tabs were, and I went and I looked up tabs, and I couldn't play that song. That intro is way harder than day one. But I remember trying that D chord in the C shape, and it was not happening. But then I learned chords, D, G, A. Actually, fun fact, the first chordal song I learned was Behind Blue Eyes by Limp Bizkit. All right, number 5, it's a classical piece, not a classical song. If you say, oh, I love that Mozart song, classical nerds are going to look at you like it's a piece, not a song. And if it's a bunch of pieces together, it's a work, right? So Beethoven symphony is a work. But yeah, I hear that a lot too, is, oh, I love classical songs. No, you love classical pieces of music. So that one's just a silly one. But the next one is the tone of an instrument. This is a fancy word to really make you sound intelligent. The tone of my voice versus the tone of a guitar versus the tone of a piano is the timbre of the instrument. And the timbre is spelled Timbre, like timbre or timbre. And I've literally heard musically intelligent people say timbre. And I was like, what? Shouldn't you, if you know the word timbre, you should know that it's pronounced timbre. When I first learned the word, the person was like, and it's just like I'm teaching you right now. I learned that and I was like, oh, so it's I think it was in high school music theory or something. They're like, yeah, the word timbre is actually spelled Timbre. Fun fact, not timbre, not timbre, but timbre. Anyway, what that means is, just like I was saying before, all instruments can play those 12 notes. The difference between me doing an A and the harmonica doing an A is the timbre. All right, the next one here. This one is super cool, and it is, if I can remember, I had to memorize them. I'm on my phone. I don't have a pen and paper, so I had to really think. Not all, but 99.9% of all songs, Western songs, use 4 chords. And it's usually the 1 chord, the 5 chord, the 6 chord, and the 4 chord. And I've shown you that in most of the songs I've reacted to. You know, if you're in the key, a major key, it's 1, 5, 6, 4. If you're in a minor key, it's the same chords, but jumbled up in a different order. And some songs only have 3 chords. Some songs, and it's my favorite country progression, have 2 chords. For example, it'd be like C, C, G, 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 C, C. Now it seems simple, but the way that it's formatted allows for the melody to resolve in fun, cool ways. So that one is, most songs are 4 chords or less. And you know, there's plenty of examples of songs that don't do that, but there's an overwhelming majority of songs that are like that, that have that. So, okay, and the last one, if I can remember it, is, let's see, classical piece, tone, songs, chords. Shoot, I can't remember the last one, but hopefully that's enough for you to help. I'll put it in the description below what the last one is, because I just have to check my notes real quick, and it's going to be a good one. But I think the main one I wanted to relay to you guys is, it's a riff, not a rift. So there you go. Those are some things to make you sound musically intelligent. I don't know, just a fun little idea. I'll be back soon with more reactions. I got a ton of stuff in the queue. Once I get that new computer, I'm going to post a bunch of stuff. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me and the Chihuahuas. And until next time, peace.